Imagine a workplace where Lamborghinis and Porsches fill the parking lots, not just as symbols of wealth, but of relentless hard work. That's Nvidia. From the outside, it's a world of unimaginable success. But behind closed doors, the story is more complex. A story of pressure, exhaustion, and golden handcuffs. This is the Millionaire Paradox. In 1993, Nvidia was born from an idea. Three engineers who believed in the potential of computer graphics to revolutionize industries. Nvidia was founded in 1993 by three engineers with a vision to harness computer graphics technology in ways that could transform various industries, likely including gaming, entertainment, and eventually AI. They had a vision, but few could predict what it would become. At the time of its founding, the full extent of Nvidia's future success was unclear. Even though the founders had a big idea, no one could have anticipated how significant Nvidia would become. Today, Nvidia isn't just another tech company, it's the epicenter of the AI chip market, the company that's made artificial intelligence a household name. Fast forward to today, and Nvidia is not merely a tech company, it has positioned itself as the central player in the market for chips used in AI technologies. Its GPU's graphics processing units have become integral to AI advancements, helping make AI more widely known and accessible. With demand for its GPUs skyrocketing, Nvidia's stock has risen over 3,700% since 2019. As the demand for Nvidia's GPUs, especially for AI-related tasks, has surged, so has the company's stock value, which has increased by a staggering 3,700% since 2019. This highlights the company's explosive growth and its strong position in the tech sector. To put that in perspective, that means a $1,000 investment back then would be worth nearly $38,000 today. If you had invested $1,000 in Nvidia stock in 2019, that investment would now be worth about $38,000, reflecting the massive appreciation in its stock price. And for employees who joined during that period, the financial impact has been life-changing. For those who worked at Nvidia during this period of growth, the surge in stock price likely led to substantial financial gains, making a meaningful difference in their lives, particularly for those who had stock options or shares in the company. Delves into the culture at Nvidia, offering insight into why employees, despite having made substantial wealth through the company's explosive growth, continue to stay and work with such dedication. But here's where things get interesting. This incredible growth has minted hundreds of employee millionaires. Yet despite all this wealth, these employees are staying. Why? What keeps them glued to their desks? Nvidia's success has made many of its employees extremely wealthy, with hundreds becoming millionaires, which could lead many to expect them to leave or relax. But despite their newfound wealth, these employees continue to work intensely, raising the question, what motivates them to stay and keep working? To understand why people stay, let's talk about Nvidia's work culture. To answer this question, the focus shifts to the company's work culture, which seems to be the key factor in why employees remain dedicated despite their financial success. CEO Jensen Huang has built Nvidia on the idea that hard work breeds greatness. Known for his relentless drive, Huang believes in setting high expectations and pushing his employees to achieve them, often at a personal cost. The leadership philosophy of CEO Jensen Huang, he's described as someone with a relentless drive and a belief that success comes from hard work. This mindset shapes the culture at Nvidia, where Huang sets ambitious goals for the company and its employees, pushing them to achieve greatness. However, this comes at a personal cost, implying that the pressure and demands can be challenging and may come at the expense of personal time, health, or work-life balance. Employees at Nvidia don't just clock in from 9 to 5. They work intense, high-stakes hours, pouring their energy into making Nvidia what it is today. Employees are expected to do more than just the typical 9-to-5 job. The work culture at Nvidia is described as intense and demanding, where employees go above and beyond, dedicating significant effort and time to contribute to the company's success. And for many, those hours stretch late into the night and start early the next morning. The workdays at Nvidia aren't confined to standard hours. For many employees, they extend into late nights and early mornings, emphasizing the company's high expectations and the relentless pace at which employees work. It's not just a job, it's a lifestyle. This final line underscores that, for many Nvidia employees, working there is more than just earning a paycheck. It's a way of life. The culture is so demanding that it becomes central to their identity, and the pursuit of success at Nvidia is intertwined with their personal lives. One Nvidia engineer describes the culture as intense but incredibly rewarding. This engineer, who's become a millionaire from stock options, still works 60-hour weeks. While the work environment is described as intense, the engineer finds it incredibly rewarding. Despite having become a millionaire through Nvidia's stock options, which were granted as part of their compensation, this engineer still works long hours, 60-hour weeks, indicating that the high demands and hard work are ongoing. It's like being on a roller coaster, they say. Once you're on, it's hard to get off, even when you're dizzy from the ride. The engineer uses a metaphor to describe the experience of working at Nvidia. The roller coaster analogy suggests that while the work can be thrilling and exciting, it can also be overwhelming and exhausting at times. The comparison implies that once you're fully immersed in Nvidia's culture and pace, it's difficult to leave, even when it becomes challenging. Let's get into the golden handcuffs, Nvidia's stock options. Focus to the financial incentives that play a role in keeping employees at Nvidia stock options. The term golden handcuffs refers to a situation where employees are financially tied to the company because they have valuable stock options that they can't access unless they stay with the company for a certain period of time. In other words, these stock options act as both an incentive and a constraint. They motivate employees to remain with Nvidia. Stock options aren't just a perk. They're an incentive to keep employees invested in the company's long-term success. Nvidia's stock options are more than just a bonus or extra benefit. They are a strategic tool used to encourage employees to stay and work towards the company's continued success. The idea is that if employees have a financial stake in the company's future, they'll be more committed to its growth. But there's a catch. The stock options vest over 4 years, meaning employees don't get their shares all at once. They have to stay to earn them. Here's the catch mentioned. The stock options are not immediately available to employees. They vest over a period of 4 years, meaning that employees earn the right to access their stock gradually over time. This creates an incentive for employees to stay with Nvidia for the long term in order to fully benefit from their stock options. For example, an Nvidia engineer might receive a stock grant worth millions, but to cash in on those shares, they have to stay for the full vesting period. To give a concrete example, that an Nvidia engineer might be granted stock options that could be worth millions of dollars. However, the employee can't just take the money immediately. They must stay at Nvidia for the entire vesting period in order to cash in on those shares. This ensures that the employee remains at Nvidia and continues contributing to its success. And with Nvidia's stock rising at such a fast pace, each year that goes by means those shares are worth more and more. Nvidia's stock is increasing in value at a rapid rate. Therefore, as time passes and employees stay with the company, the stock options they hold become even more valuable. This further incentivizes employees to remain at Nvidia, as each year they wait to cash in makes their stock options more lucrative. High reward environment at Nvidia, highlighting the psychological and emotional pressures employees face due to both the company's work culture and the financial incentive stock options. It's like dangling a golden carrot in front of someone. You're already holding the wealth, but it's always just out of reach, just one more year away. The golden carrot metaphor compares the stock options employees have to a tempting reward that's always visible but just beyond reach. Employees have already acquired stock options worth potentially millions, but to fully cash in on them, they must stay with Nvidia for several more years. This creates a constant sense of being close to wealth, but needing to wait just one more year to claim it. For some, leaving Nvidia means leaving millions of dollars on the table. The financial reality for employees, leaving Nvidia before their stock options fully vest, means forfeiting potentially millions of dollars. The financial incentive to stay is enormous, which helps explain why many employees choose to endure the tough work culture instead of walking away. It's a powerful incentive to stay, even when the job becomes all-consuming. The promise of future wealth through stock options is so compelling that it drives employees to stay with Nvidia, even when the job demands so much of their time and energy that it becomes all-consuming, implying that their personal and professional lives might be deeply affected by the workload. The culture at Nvidia isn't just intense, it's competitive, fast-paced, and at times confrontational. Paints a picture of a company where the work environment is not only demanding but also filled with high levels of competition and fast-paced decision-making. The competitive nature can lead to confrontation, which is common in high-stakes environments. Many employees say it's a pressure cooker environment where things are moving so fast there's no room for mistakes. The term pressure cooker is used to describe the intensity of the work environment. In a pressure cooker, there's immense pressure building up, which aligns with the idea that at Nvidia, the fast pace of work and high expectations mean employees feel like they can't afford to make mistakes. The stakes are high and the pressure is constant. Meetings can get heated, and discussions sometimes turn into debates or even shouting matches. The work environment is so intense that meetings and discussions often escalate into heated debates or even shouting matches, implying a high level of stress and strong emotions within the team. One former employee put it this way: "It's like working at a high-stakes poker table. Everyone's got a lot on the line and no one wants to lose. That's what keeps us on our toes, but it's also what burns people out." A former employee compares working at Nvidia to being at a high-stakes poker table, where everyone is betting something valuable in this case. Their time, effort, and future wealth, and the fear of losing, keeps people alert on their toes. However, this constant pressure also leads to burnout, suggesting that while the environment motivates employees to perform at their best, it can also take a heavy toll on their well-being over time. At Nvidia, there's a saying, "We work hard because we're building the future." This sets the tone by quoting a common saying within the company, encapsulating the idea that the hard work and long hours are justified by the larger purpose. Employees are contributing to technological advancements that will shape the future. The phrase frames the intense workload as meaningful, even though it's demanding. But when you're grinding day in and day out, building the future can start to feel like losing the present. Building the future with the reality of the relentless work. While employees are focused on creating something significant, the constant grind leads them to miss out on the present. Whether that's personal time, relaxation, or a balanced lifestyle. The grind here refers to the repetitive, exhausting work schedule that begins to take a personal toll. So, what does a typical day look like for an Nvidia employee? Picture this: 6:30 a.m., they're already at their computers, checking emails from colleagues in other time zones. The first task is to catch up on emails from global colleagues, indicating that the work is international and employees must be on top of things across different time zones from the start of the day. By 8 a.m., they're in their first meeting, planning the week's objectives. At 8 a.m., the workday ramps up with a meeting focused on setting goals for the week. This implies that the work is fast-paced, with constant planning and strategizing. Meetings are likely frequent and demanding. By noon, they've sat through 2 more meetings and are working on a project deadline that's been moved up to the end of the day. By noon, the employee has already attended multiple meetings and is now under the pressure of a looming project deadline, which has been moved up. The sense of urgency and shifting deadlines suggests a chaotic, high-pressure environment. At 5 p.m., even though the workday is theoretically winding down, the employee is still heavily caffeinated on their 4th or 5th coffee. This suggests that the workload is so taxing and prolonged that it requires artificial energy to sustain it. The need for multiple cups of coffee reflects both the exhaustion and the dependence on stimulants to keep going. And by 8 p.m., they're still at it, pushing to finish a project before a midnight deadline. By 8 p.m., the employee's still working, pushing to meet a midnight deadline. The fact that they're working late into the evening again highlights the long hours and intense pace. The sense of urgency remains high, with deadlines extending well into the night. And this isn't a one-time occurrence. For many Nvidia employees, it's just another day. So here's the paradox. Nvidia employees are some of the highest paid in the industry, and they're raking in stock options worth millions. They've got enough wealth to buy luxury cars, vacation homes, and anything else their hearts desire. But here's the kicker: they're too busy to spend it. For many, their wealth exists in their stock portfolios. It's just numbers on a screen growing by the day but out of reach in their daily lives. One employee described it like this: "It's like I'm rich but I'm poor on time. My bank account is full, but my schedule is empty." And this is the story for many tech millionaires in Silicon Valley. They've made it financially, but their demanding work schedules leave little time to actually enjoy it. The negative impact that Nvidia's demanding work culture has on employees' mental health, despite the financial success they may experience. It highlights the unseen side of working at a company that is highly successful, but comes with a significant personal and emotional cost. But there's another side to this lifestyle: the toll on mental health. Long hours, high expectations, and the constant pressure to perform can lead to burnout. The specific factors contributing to the mental health challenges at Nvidia, the long work hours, high demands, and relentless pressure to meet performance expectations, create an environment where burnout is a real risk. This burnout can result in exhaustion, emotional fatigue, and a breakdown of mental well-being. Anxiety, stress, and even depression are common among Nvidia's workforce. As a result of this intense work culture, mental health issues like anxiety, stress, and depression are reported among Nvidia employees. These are serious psychological conditions that often arise when individuals feel overwhelmed, unsupported, or under constant pressure. For some, it's hard to reconcile their wealth with their well-being. The paradox some employees face: they've achieved great financial success through stock options, for instance, but they struggle to find peace of mind or balance. While they are wealthy, they are also grappling with the emotional and psychological costs of their intense work life, creating an inner conflict between their material success and their mental health. They've reached a level of success most people only dream of, yet they're struggling with exhaustion. The contrast between what these employees have achieved, success that many would envy, and their personal struggles. They've attained a level of success most people only dream of, but this success comes at the expense of their physical and mental health. Where mental health suffers due to high expectations and intense work, is often overlooked or hidden. Success in these environments isn't just at a price in terms of hard work or financial sacrifice, it also has a deeper, more personal cost, affecting employees' psychological health. For many Nvidia employees, the high-stakes environment doesn't just affect them, it affects their families. It's not unusual to hear about missed birthdays, cancelled vacations, and weekends spent at the office. And this is a reality for many in Silicon Valley. They're trading time with loved ones for a dream that, at times, feels out of reach. Despite the intense work culture, many Nvidia employees remain passionate about their work. They believe they're part of something bigger, something that's changing the world. They're building AI, powering industries, and pushing the boundaries of what technology can do. Yet there's always that lingering question: is it worth it? One Nvidia employee reflected, "I've achieved more here than I thought possible, but every day I wonder if the sacrifice is worth it." So, what does Nvidia's story tell us about the tech industry as a whole? Nvidia isn't the only tech giant with this kind of high-pressure culture. It's a glimpse into a new reality where wealth, work, and personal life are intertwined in ways that are hard to separate. As more tech companies push for innovation, the line between professional success and personal sacrifice continues to blur. For employees, it's a constant balancing act, and for some, the balance never comes. At the end of the day, the story of Nvidia is a modern-day paradox. It's a place where people achieve financial success, but at a cost that's hard to measure. It's a story of incredible wealth and relentless work, of golden handcuffs and long hours. So, what do you think? Is this kind of success worth the price? Or should companies start rethinking the way they treat employees? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about life in Silicon Valley and beyond.